What's up, guys? It's Rowdy. Thank you for tuning in to the Homeway Hustle Podcast. And today I have probably my most special of special guests is my great friend Chris Fresh, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. How about you? It's been a while.
It's been a while, man. It's good to see you and see you again, and good to have you on the show.
Yeah, last time I saw you, we were down in Scottsdale, I think, right? Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, we were in there with at Alex's event, and
that's right. Yeah,
and they're teaching us restoration guys a little bit about in-the-house sales.
Yeah, I think we were talking about value proposition and how to acquire more plumbers and how to get them into your world. Yeah, and also I think we had a little bit of fun afterwards. We hung out for not too long, but yeah,
a little bit of fun. Me and Chris and Tiger and a couple guys that went out to Old Town and had a grandiose time.
Had a good time. I'm a little older, so I don't know if I was able to stay out as late as some of the other guys, but had a good time.
Yeah.
Concentrated time. It was concentrated time for me.
It was good, man. So let's talk a little bit about why you're here, man. We've we have our Connect series event that by the time this airs, we've already had it. It's tomorrow, but so.
Well, that's first of all, I think that's really cool because you're doing a series. This is your first event.
Yes.
This isn't the only event.
Yeah.
And you're doing this really to give back to the industry and really help. You want to bring value and help them get better at their craft, get better. In some fashion. I really think that's admirable. We're all, as you may know, and we'll probably dig into more. Our whole motto and mission is always be serving, and you're doing that. You're such a great example of that right now. I love that. That's great.
That's what we're trying to do is we want to elevate, all the, restoration. It really depends on a lot of other industries to for us to get jobs. And because a lot of times, when your house floods, the restorer is not the first person that you call. You call a plumber, or you call your insurance agent, or you call your property manager or something like that. So us trying to reach out and network and elevate those people, it betters our brand, but it also betters the community, which is really why we're doing it.
Yeah, it's such an interesting point. When we talk to plumbers, we talk about how the home is kind of like a patient for a doctor. And when you first get there, they always call in for the symptom. They don't ever really talk about, most people don't know what the root cause of their issue is. They just kind of know this is leaking or that's not supposed to be running. And in your case, it's almost like for us as plumbers, it's like you're a specialist that we would refer them to.
Exactly.
So it's like, hey, I've come to your home. I know you got this leaking thing, or you got this old pipe, or you got something like that going on. But hey, you got another issue here you need to get looked at, and I'm going to refer you over. We don't do that here, but it's such an interesting correlation between the two.
That's what we try to do. We try to bring the most value we can to both our referral partner that we're working with and to the company, and to the client. I'm sorry.
Well, no one ever has on their schedule, on March 31st, I'm going to have my plumbing fail on me, and they'll go ahead and take care of that. It just kind of disrupts that day, and you got to be. No one ever wants to actually have to have someone come to their home and fix something. They definitely don't want to have someone from restoration. They might like you a lot, but they don't want you in their home.
Exactly. It's like, we have, most of the time when we deal with people, it's on the worst day of their life, or at least the perceived worst day of their life, especially in that moment. So it's great for what I tell our plumbers that we work with is, part of your service to this customer can be that, they don't know, thankfully people don't know how to call the restoration company because not people's house flood all the time. So them as the plumber, that's another service that they're offering to their customer is, hey, do you have somebody to help you clean up this water damage? No, well, I have a great person that we can send you to.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think people downplay the industry sometimes or what the tradespeople do, restoration, plumbing, HVAC, electrical. But if you really think about it, they say the number one cause of divorce, I think, is money issues or something to that effect. And this can create some money issues in a legitimate kind of way. So this could be the crack in the foundation of the relationship, or maybe the final piece. I've been in homes where husband and wife are exasperated. Life's been hitting them real hard. Things have been tough, money problems, and then this comes along, and then the blame game ensues. It's like, well, you left, you did this, or it's just ugly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might go, come on, it's just plumbing or it's just whatever, but there is a reality. The experience you give people while they're going through it absolutely will affect the outcome in a lot of ways. Not only just on whatever you're fixing, but their life. Like, I mean, they're, how many times do you go in behind, I'm just curious, how many times do you go in behind other restoration or other companies that were supposed to take care of a problem and they didn't, and they actually made it worse?
All the time. That happens all the time. I mean, people, there's, there's some. I mean, there's a lot of obviously there's a lot of great restoration companies that only take care of people really good, and but there are some that we see consistent problems where people are, and a lot of times is and the crazy part is a lot of times it's the companies that are recommended by their insurance company.
They cause the biggest problem.
They cause the big I don't know what it is. They don't. I don't think. I think the companies that are on the TPA programs and things like that, they don't have to create real service, and they don't go out and have to go out and market and actually fight for jobs and be good out in the open, because they just kind of sit back and allow the insurance companies to send them jobs. So I don't feel like they have like a really big sense of urgency, like us, like more independent guys.
It's interesting you say that. Not every single plumbing company that deals with warranty work or maybe is affiliated with a warranty company and will take on their work is necessarily bad. But it does seem like a majority of the people taking on warranty work, it's because they haven't been able to find their way in marketing yet. And so they are probably a little more inexperienced as a company, or maybe not as good. And so and things can happen. Absolutely. It's an interesting thought there. So that's crazy, because the thought I was having was, can you imagine what the customer situation was like mentally for them? Trust, stress, all those things the first time. So they wake up, they got a flood. Plumbing company says, I fixed your water heater, but it dropped 50 gallons of water through your ceiling. Insurance comes out, says, hey, use ABC Restoration. ABC Restoration comes out, makes the problem worse. What were they feeling when they met ABC Restoration, and what are they feeling when they meet you the second time around? I'm sure their guard's up. That now they don't trust anyone. They're probably more critical of your work.
Oh, absolutely. It's the same way. Like if you mess up, like if we mess up and do something wrong, and then like from that point forward, you got to be on your P's and Q's.
You just described my golf game. Like my second shot after a bad shot, I'm like, should you even be out here?
It's what I tell all of my project managers and everybody that works for me. If you hand a customer a reason to think that they need to look behind you, or you hand them a reason, they're going to. Yeah. If you don't fix the obvious things, and they walk in and they say, "Oh, this project's done," and they walk in and there's obvious problems, then they're going to find the obvious problems, and they're going to go and they're going to nitpick. It's just that's part of it.
Yeah, that it's interesting you say that, because with and again it's people, so there's going to be a lot of comparisons. It's going to be similar stuff, but when we're in a home, if I go into a home, let's say, and the customer's got it stuck in their mind that the problem is X and it's being caused by Y, man, for me to be able to bring up anything else, I got to deal with that for them mentally, or else they're stuck on that. There's no getting them off it. A good one would be an odor smell. Customer swears up and down it's coming from this bathroom. And we find a cracked pipe. I mean, we could literally find a cracked pipe below a vent in the crawl space, that's coming up and letting the air through. The air, the furnace or whatever's catching it and blowing it. Yeah. And I could show it to them, but they're still gonna be. But are you sure it's not in that bathroom? Because they've already locked it in their head that's the problem.
It's like one thing we learn in like when we're doing our fire restoration.
I was just wondering about that. Like people have smoke smell after a fire.
Oh yeah, that's the hardest thing is perceived smell.
Because of mental,
yeah, because they when they walk in their house, they smell fire, and so
they're looking
never
for
goes
it.
Away. It's like when
it's an emotional smell, not a logical smell.
Yeah, and like in high school, my wife had a vehicle that caught on fire at a stoplight that she was in, and like some fuel started dropping on the engine, and it caught on fire. And to this day, if there's a car burning has a lot of, you got rubber and fuel and a lot of very specific smells. Anytime she smells a strong burning smell, it just gives her like PTSD. So
man, that's crazy. Every time I go in the locker room, bro, when I was younger, I got picked on. Now as an adult, I don't go in them. I try to run. I run through them. Like we went to this gym one time. It was real nice. And you had to I don't know how they had this thing designed, but you had to go through the locker room. Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm not that bad. But in all seriousness, there are some times where I'm like, yeah, that's a dark corner. I'll change over here.
That's funny. So let's go into it. So your motto that you teach people, or kind of your I think the overlook of all your teachings is not always be closing, which is most salespeople's thing is, but yours is always be serving. So talk about how you came to that and what that really means to you.
Yeah, I mean just a quick backstory on the slogan itself came from a movie, Glenn Ross. And there's a sign in the movie, A always B, C closing, always be closing. It's a famous scene. Alec Baldwin, this watch is worth more than your life.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing because if you think about most sales trainers, they are teaching you closing tactics. And it's, in my opinion, a lot of times, if you're utilizing those closing tactics because they work, but not because they're genuine, it quickly shifts from closing or helping to manipulation. And so one of the things we believe in is just really figuring out how to problem solve the thing that you're selling. So at the end of the day, sales is an old word. I think it's a noun. If you look at it that way, it's just a transaction. Selling is a verb. If you look at it that way, it's an action. I think selling is where we start to get wrong. There's nothing wrong with a transaction. So if you're looking at what that transaction is, it's typically someone that needs a product or service, and then an expert or someone that offers that solution. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so if that's really happening, and I've got something that can solve your problem, at the end of the day, all I have to do is transfer the knowledge I have into your brain so that you know what I know. And in that case, I can't stop you from buying it. Yeah. If I have a real solution, I can't stop you from buying it. For example, if someone's house catches on fire and they've got smoke and it's smoky and they're feeling this idea that I got smoke, and you can get rid of smoke smell, you don't really have to sell that. You just have to now show them that you actually know what you're doing. You have to prove to them that you are the person to get rid of smoke smell. And then according to you, they still doesn't go away in their mind, but at least you got rid of it, right? Yeah. But that's what it's about. So that's kind of the backstory of the slogan and the concepts. The much longer story, and I won't make it long, is that I came to a relationship with Christ one day, and in that moment, before that, I had sold a certain way. I had been in sales, had done a lot of shady things in sales, had said what I needed to say to get the sale, and felt convicted. And so from that point on, tried to do it the right way, just in my own craft, in my own trade. And I'll kind of leave it at that. I'm sure we'll dig into some more of my background, maybe unpack that more, but that's where it all comes from.
Yeah, what you said was kind of powerful. Some salespeople get pushy and get manipulative. Sorry, there was a guy that was trying to sell me something one time from a particular other very large sales organization. This was a guy that called me. He called me all the time. Well, he wanted me to go to an event or stay long. I was already going to the event, but they wanted me to stay a day or two longer for like a little add-on.
Sounds like a timeshare.
like a back end thing. And we only, I have kids, and we have to obviously have people take care of our kids. And my mother-in-law was off work for a certain amount of days and could only stay to keep our kids. And I said, I cannot go I cannot stay any longer than I am. I have to get home. I don't have anybody to watch my kids. And this guy goes, just do it anyway. And I very calmly said, if you ever call my phone ever again, there's something bad that's going to happen. I just felt so disrespected.
Of course.
And no, because
you weren't heard.
I wasn't heard. This is something I heard the other day, and I really, people don't buy from you when you understand, when you make them understand. They buy from you when they feel understood.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a study out. I don't know how long ago it was, but I heard it on a podcast, and it just said that the number one key to customer retention was a positive manager experience. 2 days later, I'm at a fine dining restaurant. Now, at this time in my life, this is like the first time I've been in a fine dining restaurant. So I'm a little uncomfortable. Like, they came over and scraped the crumbs. I'm like, I'm smacking it out of their hand. I'm like, are you trying to stab me? Like, what's crumb scrapers. Get away from me.
Those are always
and awesome. I was actually probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. So anyways, they're doing that. And the manager comes up, and I was being rewarded for something in business. And I worked for someone or worked with someone at the time. Anyways, manager comes up, finds out, the server lets them know, who they kind of talk. And the manager comes up and is like, what'd you get? Comes to me and says, what'd you get? And I told him I got a steak or Delmonico ribeye. And he goes, guy loses his mind right there in the restaurant. Like, I'm just like, hey, chill out, there's people here. And it's the manager, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is my favorite steak. Did you get the peppercorn brandy, sauce?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "You have to." oh my gosh. And I'm like, I have to, I'm like, look at the hotel, like how are you not, right? And so I get it. And then I'm to this day convinced that the steak was better because of that interaction, not because of the actual steak. He got my endorphins going, serotonin flowing. I was excited. And, it was a nice restaurant. They landed on the steak, of course. But I'm still to this day like, was it the best steak I ever had? Or was it like, did he get me going just so excited? And the point of all that is when I had that moment, I was like, it's so true. And the next thing they said blew my mind. That's why when you can go to a restaurant, you can go anywhere, you can do anything. You can do it 6 times, have a great experience, good experience, nothing goes wrong. And you're 90% product loyal. But if you go one time and you have a bad experience and they make it right, you're 100% product loyal. And I was like, dang, they said because the last fear is removed. Yeah, this is great when everything's going well, but what happens when things don't go right? It's kind of like you said that guy selling you. If he's like that before you buy, oh man, what's he like after you buy? And I think that's a big deal, and like people need to be, it's a relationship. It is not a sales, it should not be a sales pitch. It should be a relationship.
I like that, what you said a lot. Like that's, obviously we do a lot of jobs and we make mistakes just like every other company. And when a lot of times when I end up on a job, it's because, somebody's tried to fix a problem and they couldn't fix it, and then I go and fix it. And I feel like because obviously I'm the owner, and when I get there, the customer always I feel like they let their guard all the way down because they know that like,
it's their last chance.
This guy's here. He's gonna solve this. He's gonna solve my problem.
Well, I think they feel. I genuinely agree with what you're saying. They feel a sense of confidence or comfort that you can make a decision. But there's also a reality of like, there's nobody else in this company I can tell my problem to that's higher than this. So I might as well just. This is my moment. This is my audition, if you will. And I think that's a piece of the equation too.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, people are very much. It's. Plumbers, we always tell them, don't talk like a plumber. You got to open up and try to get on their language, the customer's language. Customers come in with what they know. It may not be with what you know. It may not be technically sound, but they know what they want. They know what they're trying to achieve today. And you got to include them or you're making a great mistake.
Y'all plumbers, y'all definitely have your own language for sure.
It was water boy. And it wasn't all in.
I was talking to Chad about it yesterday. I remember the first time I was probably in high school, and I was sitting at a plumbing supply house with a general contractor I used to work with. We were buying some plumbing parts, and an old head guy comes in there to make an order for a sewer. It sounded like, and he spoke another language, like ordering all the, I need this Y street, this. I was like, I have no idea what this guy said.
Yeah, we got to keep it gangster sometimes.
Street. So tomorrow is
here's the crazier thing though. Is it for me?
No. My alarm going off for some reason. Time to take my medicine, I guess.
Here's the crazier thing is they do this in the home. They're telling the customer, they're like, yeah, you're street 90, and the customer's like, what? I remember one time I was in a home, I told the lady, I was like, I was in Indiana, and it was the middle of the summer, and I go, yeah, I was like, your angle stops froze. First of all, she didn't know what an angle stop was.
Yeah.
And then I was like showing her, I was like, it's froze. And I just kept talking, I'm like this, that, blah. But I was saying the best stuff.
Yeah.
I'm saying the best stuff. And I look at her and I can realize she's not hearing anything I'm saying. Like she's just like staring with their eyes crossed. I was like, you good? I was like, did I lose you? And she goes, it's 83 degrees outside. How is that froze? And I was like, no, it's seized. I was like, it's so the left side won't turn when the right side's trying to move with my hand. I just couldn't talk no more. And I'm like trying to explain what I mean by it's froze, but it's not froze. But you know what I mean, right? It's like seized. She's just like, so I just left. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny. Yeah. So we got our event tomorrow. We got a bunch of plumbers coming in and managers and owners. And so what do you hope these guys are going to take away from this tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, you got plumbers coming. From day one, our whole desire is to make impact. We want to make impact in the industry. I want to change the way that plumbing's done, not in the sense of the plumbing, but the experience the customer has while they're working through the bedside manner of the doctor, so to speak, right? And so tomorrow, I want to show them the kind of the recipe for that. I'll give a framework even right now. This idea of relationship, diagnose, value stack. If you go back to the 50s, 40s, 30s, and you listen to some of these old relationship style based salespeople, that were really mentors of the industry. Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, John C. Maxwell, Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy's still alive, still putting out content. Some of these guys.
I saw John Maxwell not so long ago. It was good.
Yeah, they because it's the heart, it's the right heart set. People talk about mindset all the
John,
time.
your friend.
John, me and John, we look almost the same age, but no, we're not. He doesn't know
That's
me.
how he always ends his thing. My name's John.
And I'm your friend.
How's he go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're my friend. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a good.
He goes like, my name's John, or I don't know. He says something about he ends everything the same way. It's like my name's John and I'm your friend or something along the lines.
Now the big thing I took from John was more of people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. It's really just what you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't care what they're going to talk about at the seminar. My kids need me. Like, what don't you get about that?
Yeah.
So I want them to see that 3-stage process. And again, going all the way back to all these teachers, all these people, they all kind of boil it down to the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Make a friend, find a need, fill it. Yeah. It's really that simple. That's sales, if you're doing it the right way. So relationship diagnosing, value stacking, it's this idea that we can take time to build commonalities with the customer, because that's what relationships are all built on, is commonalities. We can diagnose not only their problem, and this is a big one. We're not always there. We are there for plumbing problems, no doubt. But there's another reason. So like I'll give you the example of, you got a faucet dripping. It's been dripping for 2 weeks. Customer finally calls into a plumbing company. I show up. Hey, so how long has this been going on? For a couple weeks. Oh, wow, okay. Well, at least it was dripping where it was supposed to. It was going down the sink, just not when it was supposed to. And then I go, any particular reason why you called today? And like, well, my family's coming into town. Yeah. It's like, oh.
Emotional. I'm
not just diagnosing this faucet. I'm diagnosing your home now with the idea that, is there anything else in your home that could fail on you while your family comes into town? And we do these boot camp videos and all these trainings, but one of the ones we do inside there is this idea of look for things, even if it's not your trade. You may not solve it. You may not make money on it. You might not even know how to fix it. But you can at least bring awareness to it because you have a new set of lens. I'm your advocate. You're my customer. You just told me you're concerned about what maybe we dig a little deeper and we find out it's a guy and it's his father-in-law and it's the first Thanksgiving. And he doesn't want to look like a fool in front of the father-in-law. So you say, okay, hey, man, also just so you know, this right here is a problem. And you're just helping people out, right? And that's what I want them to take away from that side of it, is how do I go in and build a friendship in 30 minutes, diagnose not only the plumbing problem, diagnose the reason why it's failing, but now start getting into the psychology of people. And then how can we, the last one is value stacking. How can we create solutions, options, however you want to say that? How can we create solutions for the customer that maybe we take care of it for right now? It's a Band-Aid. You're at the doctor's office. I just told you some really bad news. It's going to require surgery. For today, I'm going to do this, but you may want to come back for surgery. Sometimes it's like you need surgery right now, like right now. And to me, it's all the same in plumbing, whether it's the hospital or it's the plumber going into the home. It's very, very, very similar. And I want them to understand that. I want them to grasp that idea.
Yeah, sometimes like it's not always. Sometimes it's urgent. Sometimes it's not. You just got to give the customer the option to do what's best for them.
Yeah, I geek out on people. I like studying people, personality types, enneagrams, like just all that. I'm lose my mind, right?
Yeah.
I like to tell other people what they are.
Well, you're a salesperson.
Sometimes that's not good.
Like if you're gonna sell to people, you have to find common ground with them and find out the things that they like. You're not gonna approach a 50-year-old housewife the same way you are a 50-year-old.
You better not
career man.
You better not.
Yeah.
You better not. And then there's pendulum swings to this thing. So there's like some people on their good day, some people on their bad day, meaning that same human, but today he's woke up to a leak or she woke up to a leak. There's pendulum swings to this thing. And so I geek out on this. I love that stuff. And I think people in service need to geek out on that more. Like, I know we're doing a trade. I know we're doing a craft, and that's part of the deal. But we're usually in service, meaning we're in someone's home. We're in someone's domain. We're in someone's world. We need to know how to evolve in that. And this plays out so many levels, man, when people go, oh, people just aren't spending money right now. No, people aren't spending money with you right now because something you're doing isn't really understanding this bigger equation.
Yeah. There's so many different types of people. Like, I'm sure you've done this a million times. I've walked into people's houses, and they're in their office, and they go and they say, I want to remodel that bathroom, and they go and they sit back in their office.
Yeah, go. You got it.
Yeah.
You're like, got it. I'm on. So I know exactly what you're picturing in your
Exactly.
head.
And then there's some people that, they want to stand there and talk to you for, obviously those are the good people. They want to stand there and talk to you for an hour. Let's figure out what you want. But I'm sure in plumbing gets the same way. Like that faucet's dripping. All right, fix it. They go back to doing what they're doing.
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. Usually we get the finger.
Yeah.
They're on the phone and they're like,
yeah.
it's just like, what?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, what's leaking? Kitchen.
Yeah, and well, you're the expert. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, but you were here. You experienced this.
Exactly.
It's kind of like call 911. You see a car crash or a car wreck, and as soon as they show up, you're like, "You guys got it?" You just walk off.
Yeah.
Like, well, what'd you see? Doesn't matter. You're the experts. You got it, right? It's right over there.
Yeah.
I think that guy's dead. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
can we talk about this, sir? Sir, before you get back in your car, can we talk about this?
Exactly. Yeah, that people are.
Yeah, it's common, but so many people take it personal at the front door. Like, I don't know, were they ripped off last time? Am I the fifth plumber in their home? Am I the first plumber in their home? Are they a new home buyer? Are they still shocked that this is their responsibility? Like, there's so many, I can't tell you how many times people have plumbing problems. Like, well, if my insurance is going to take care of it, then I don't want to do it. And I'm like, your insurance is never going to take care of it. Like, they're going to take care of all the damage that's going to be caused because you don't take care of it, but they ain't taking care of your plumbing.
Not unless it froze, not unless it's the wintertime. So.
Yeah, unless you get real lucky and it freezes and bursts and ruins everything. In that case, you're good.
Yeah. So where did you get? So obviously now you're in the coaching realm, but where did you learn all your knowledge? How did you get started in plumbing?
Man, look, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, looking back, me and my wife to this day talk and go, what? Like, and I mean that in all seriousness. I just failed faster and more. I was dumber. I just kept going. I didn't know. I was naive. So when I was young, I owed, I'm talking 8. I'm not talking like when I was young, 22. I'm talking 8. This is a great example of who I was. So I'm into marbles at this time. I'm hot into marbles, pretty good at it. I think I'm good at it. I'm terrible at it. And literally everybody in my neighborhood, all of my friends were, literally the whole block was Vietnamese and the other block was Japanese. It was me and then Hispanic family. The Hispanic families who watched over me, my parents, I was a latchkey kid, so my parents were at work. So I'm in Westminster, California, Garden Grove area, Orange County. So we run out in the mornings, in the afternoon when school ends, we'd run out this little broken fence thing, and there was a cul-de-sac right there. So you're kind of running into the end of the cul-de-sac. And
It's a cove for you Southern people.
yeah, so the cove.
We call it a cove.
Okay, a cove. That's funny. All right.
In the South, it's a cove.
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
All right,
cul-de-sac. It's definitely a Western or a Yankee thing.
so we let's go with Western. So is it time to get up?
Dude, I don't know. I got so many alarms set on my phone. I'm sorry.
So anyways, we all take off running. Anyways, bottom line is I'm gambling marbles. I don't know. I can short track this story. I'm gambling marbles, and I probably owe them about 600 to 800. I mean, I get a ridiculous amount of marbles. And I know we're moving June 2nd. My birthday is June 4th. I know we're moving June 2nd, and we're not moving to from Westminster to the other side of Westminster. We're moving from Southern California to Northern California. We're moving 9 hours away. We're moving up by Lake Tahoe. So we're like, never gonna see these kids again. So I told them I'd pay them all back June 4th. And June 2nd, the Mayflower truck showed up and they picked up on what was going on. So I, in fact, did get them marbles for my birthday because my mom found out what was up and I got in trouble. I got in a lot of trouble. That's you don't want to move either under those the last thing you did at the last place.
That's a lot of marbles.
Yeah, I think it was 800. My mom's story is 800.
I don't think I've ever seen 800 marbles in one place.
It's a lot. Well, it takes roughly 6 to 8 months to lose that many. So at the rate of speed that I was good at. So have you ever played marbles?
I was a Pogs kid, man.
You ever played? Oh yeah, the bouncing game where you pick them up. Oh no, that's jacks.
That's jacks. No, this is you have a. It's like they're like little
those little fake coins.
Yeah, they're like little coins, and you have a slammer, and you try to slam. I don't even remember how to play it, but that's what we used to play. Yeah, it was probably.
That doesn't sound fun. Is that gambling?
I think you take both. I think you can take them from one another, but they're all themed.
I mean, if I lived on your neighborhood,
yeah.
I mean, I was playing their game, and you played Pogs. I'd probably play Pogs if there was a way to win some Pogs. I mean, I don't even know what if I had won the thing I tell them, like, what if I had won the 800 marbles? Then what?
Yeah.
I'd just have 800 marbles. That would even. Then I moved to Northern California. No one played marbles, so they were worthless to me up there. I was devastated, though. I'm not gonna lie. So, anyways, that's who I was. I'm 8.
Yeah.
You know, my parents always said I'd be a used car salesman. I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, I graduated the high school barely. It was just always in trouble. Got in trouble with the law. They recommended the military. That's a whole nother story. I did take them up on that offer, and I went in the Navy for 5 years. Got out of the Navy, did construction. I did construction a little bit when I was young, and then went back into it.
What was your job in the Navy?
Communications, IT.
Okay.
I was in IT. Information. So they messed up. I scored really high on one test my whole life called the ASVAB, getting into the military. They're like, "Oh, you're a brainiac. Let's do this." I was like, You're making a mistake."
Yeah, my brother was an ET in the Navy.
Oh, he worked on that was who worked on the equipment that we used. So we
His best
used it. He
friend-
worked on it.
His best friend was an IT guy, and he's the ET.
Dude, it was like plumbing and renovation.
Yeah.
They fixed it when it was broke.
They wanted him to go nuclear. Like he was super high.
That's what they wanted me to do too, but they wouldn't tell me what the job was till after I took the test. The test is like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
I wasn't down.
But he didn't want to do 8 years. Yeah, if you
That
go
would have been
nuclear,
another one that would have talked me out of it.
If you had to go nuclear, you had to stay 8 years. He wouldn't.
I did 5. It was 4 years. I did a bonus year. This was crazy. They paid me $1,500 extra bucks, which is not, looking back, not a good deal on my end. I think I got taken advantage of there. But if I signed up for the extra year,
I would never do.
no, they got me. The way they presented it, it was smooth. I was gonna get it all at once in a lump sum after tax. The government took money. The government was paying me money and taking money out of the money that they were paying me back to themselves. Borderline mafia. Borderline. Borderline. I don't know. I've heard. I wasn't in the mafia, so I don't know. But I was in the military, and I feel like it's. So, anyways, so that that's what I was doing. Got out of the military, went into construction, became a scaffold carpenter, got my journeyman card in the construction union, and that was my deal. And then was laid off, and this guy told me I was waiting tables. I think I'd done everything in my life. I was waiting tables. This is real, by the way. I was waiting tables, Bennigan's, and no, Fridays. I was at Fridays. I had upgraded. I was at Bennigan's. That's where, and I upgraded to Fridays. They had flair. They had all things. Anyways.
Oh, doing fire bartending.
Well, they did the little flickery things so you could wear the little pins and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And this guy said, "Hey, you'd be good at selling speakers." So then, next thing I know, I'm selling speakers, and I did that for 3 or 4 years on the streets. Actually, here in Memphis, when I was coming into town, I was like, "Man, I used to sell speakers here so long ago, like 2002, 2003, 2004," and that's actually what I was doing the day I accepted Christ. And so that's what shifted and that's what changed. And so then I went to work at CarMax. Then I went to work at Angie's List. Then I started a house cleaning company. And then when I sold that house cleaning company, that's when everything started to change. Mm-hmm. And I went to church, and so a lot of people had watched our stories, seen us almost lose pretty much everything in our life. We went from making money to not making money. Mm-hmm. And when I started the house cleaning company, that was kind of a 4-year run that was a game changer. After that, everybody was like, how'd you do it? Because we grew it huge. We got to about 150 homes local in Indianapolis. It was actually the northern suburbs of Indianapolis. And then people would ask me for help. And one day that one of those people was a plumbing company, helped them become sellable. They were struggling with that. I helped them with a different project first and then ended up helping them with plumbing. And actually, he asked me if I'd help him with his plumbing company on a Friday. On that very next day, my shower valve leaked onto my hardwood floors, and I didn't know how to fix it. And he sent a guy out for free, and that experience was terrible, even though it was free. It was like the guy was unconfident. He was wearing like some of his earlier job from the day on him. And I was just like, dang, And then I was like, what kind of a favor am I getting? Because this looks like you're here for a while on a Saturday. And he says it would be $1,100 on a weekday. And I was like, he just kind of like hit me like, man. So, let's say it's Thursday and I got to go to work. I wake up, my shower valve's leaking. My wife's like, you got to take care of that on her way out the door. And then I'm dealing with the shower valve. And then this guy shows up. So I get on the phone book or whatever and I call someone. This guy shows up and in 15 minutes, he's like, it's going to be $1,200. And it's like, what? What just happened? and then you don't really trust that guy, but water's just coming out. So what do you do? Like, what do you do? And I was like, man, I have sold a lot of stuff. I cleaned homes. You talk about dealing with someone's problems. That's not a problem. You can't clean your own home. That's not a real problem. Yeah. And I just fell in love with this concept of redeeming that moment because I had a bad past. I had messed up a lot of people's lives probably by the way I sold things. And I thought that's a moment that can be redeemed. I just fell in love with it. And so then I helped that plumbing company become sellable over 3 years. The new owner came in. I was consulting locally. He called me a year later. I came back, ran it for 4 years, and then ended up on a show like this kind of. It was an actual talk show though, type thing. And 2 episodes of that, episode 2 and 16 of their show. And I'm the plumbing sales guy. And then later it changed it to coach on the internet. And I'm still trying to figure out. And I've been trying to keep up ever since we started our own podcast, started doing our own show. And it just did what the internet does. Yeah. And then we started trying, TikTok came out. I was watching all these people. I was like, I could be funny. Yeah. And so then we started making these goofy videos. Those started going viral. And we're just, really just trying to help people out, take those past experiences, failures, a lot of those, and show people what not to do. And sometimes that's the only thing left is what is to do. Yeah. And so it's been a lot of that.
I think that's special that you weren't ever actually a plumber, but you had a bad plumbing experience, but you were kind of in sales and consulting, and you because of the bad experience that you had in plumbing, like you felt called that you needed to help elevate that industry.
Yeah, and
I did not know that. That I just learned something. That was crazy.
Well, when I saw it's a little crazier. So it's like, and for the plumbers out there, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. When I first saw the mountain that I had to climb, so to speak, I was like, oh man, because I told him on Friday I couldn't help him. I was like, that's plumbing. I just had too much respect for trades. I was like, I was in construction, I was around it, but I don't know it. Well, now I'm like, I can help you. So Monday I come in, I'm like, I've never ran a plumbing call. Like I'm just sitting there like. So I said, let me run one, let me run a couple, let me see what happens. Well, anyways, fast forward, the guys, man, they didn't respect that. I wasn't going to tell them anything. That they were plumbers, I'm not. And they forced me to get out there and plumb. I mean, over the 8 years I plumbed. There was the second run I plumbed a lot. Mostly just because I'm kind of, the way my leadership style is I'll tell you how to shoot the ball, but if you even start to pick it up wrong, I'll just show you a couple times, and then I'll give it back to you and let you do your thing. But I want you to see it. Yeah. So I couldn't do that, and so I had to learn the plumbing so that I could get in there and do that. And I was not a plumber. Came in as a customer. I always tell people I came in from the top down. I had a different perspective. Yeah. And I wasn't bogged down with a lot of the old ways. I didn't have all those old habits and patterns.
I was gonna say you're not. Yeah, you didn't have bad habits. That's good.
Well, I had different bad habits. Yeah. Different bad habits.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. So I guess you just answered all my questions in that. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tends to happen. We the kind of first it just leads into it, and obviously you do this a lot. So yeah, it was good. So.
Yeah, I never know what part of the story to share, but I feel like if you just tell it in one swoop, people can get it. And it's interesting because I go on different things. I talk at like an event, like I talked at the event in Scottsdale where you were at. Yeah. And what I talk about, I mean, I was going around the country, and I would go. A plumbing company would pay me to come out, maybe spend a couple of days at their shop, and it never fails that in the evening time you end up with their friends, their family, their people they know, and other people are watching the show or watching. We had a show and we had a podcast, we still do, and they're watching that stuff, and they're like financial advisors or realtors or stuff, insurance, totally unrelated to plumbing, and they're like, yeah, I applied what you said, and you think about it, it's not really business. It is. It's not really plumbing. It is. But at the end of the day, it's just about walking on earth with other people, and you got a skill, and they don't, and they have a need. And really, I just can't emphasize enough, because I think so many people make it about, I got to get good at this, I got to get good at that. And it's like, I'll give you a great example. So you got how many kids? 3. Okay. Are they all the same?
No.
No, they're wildly different, right?
Wildly.
Can they all sell you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
In their own
differently
way.
too, right? In their own way.
Yeah.
So I got eight kids. My number 7 is special needs. So
My
she's
first one's special needs. So.
yeah. So you could tell, and they have people always go, "I'm sorry to hear that." I'm like, I'm not. I feel like they're the only ones living the right way. Like they're so disconnected from all the crap.
That's her. Everything's
They're
like
just doing
she
their
has
thing.
her own she has her own bad things, but things that are bad to other people, she doesn't care.
She's just living, right? She's
Yeah.
not affected by which president or which congressman or which walkout or whatever is going on right now, in the world.
Like we were talking about Shane
So-
Gillis earlier. He talks about like somebody asked him
He said he dodged it.
We said he's a family with Down syndrome.
So
And
it nicked him.
somebody
What
goes,
he saying, nicked him?
Is he okay? And he's like, he's doing better than all of us. Because he's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not bogged down, and she's probably the best salesman of all of them. She's by because sometimes she'll be like, she'll got her way right. Well, anyways, I say all that. Everyone is born with the ability to sell because sales isn't even a thing. It's just there's something to be sold in every conversation. You're trying to convince someone you're really cool because you tell them the old story of your glory days when you played high school football, or you're trying to convince someone that you have money, or you're trying to convince someone to give you money, or everyone's always doing that in every conversation. There's some of that going on.
Everything sells.
Everything. So then I found this other weird phenomenon. So everyone's got this. That's kind of the base truth of this, right? Everyone can sell. So now fast forward to you become an adult. And when I was younger, something that was big, it may still be big, I don't know, but pyramid schemes is what they would call them, but like MLMs, network marketing, Amway, all these different things. They were so big.
Herbalife.
Herbalife, Mary Kay. Although I never sold Mary Kay, that would make no sense. But Herbalife. Although maybe I could probably maybe I should become a distributor for Herbalife. No, in all seriousness though, it would be funny because my buddy would owe me $50 or $20, or we both just went down and scraped our money together just so we could bowl one game. He bowled 5 frames, I bowled 5 frames. And we're broke as jokes. We're hanging out all the time. I see him like, "What's up, dog?" He's like, "What's up, dog?" And then on a Tuesday, randomly he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, Chris, I'd like to set up a meeting with my business associate." I'm like, "You ain't got no business associate. Why are you talking weird? Why are you acting like this, bro?" And what I finally figured out, is they're nervous because they're going to approach you about maybe joining their MLM or their thing. But here's the point. What I found out was everyone knows how to sell when it's relational. The second you mix money, just money. If my kids want me to give them money, it's weird. But if they want me to let them go to the movie theater that I'm probably paying for, it's more smooth. And when money is the focus, people get weird. They get locked up mentally. They're just seized up, And it's like so awkward sometimes to see. And it happens more times than you realize with sales. And that's what I realize it's the money. That's what's got everybody all geeked out and edged out. And it's like a drug, for a lot of people.
How old are your kids?
How old are they?
Like, what's the oldest and the youngest?
Live on camera? No, I'm kidding. I know the answer. I know the answer. I know you don't think I know the answer.
Miss Fresh, are you listening?
Which way do we go? Let's go top down.
All right.
All right, so we got 25, and it's 8 of them, so just don't be judging. 25, 23, 20, 19. He's 16, just turned 16 a couple of days ago. 16, Kendall will get mad if I get hers wrong. She's 14. And then we got 10 and 7. Bam!
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to really work
some
through that.
small gaps in
We're
there,
coming
but-
up. We're coming up through my minefield of birthdays too right now. So it's like some have happened, some haven't.
Yeah.
We have 3 in June, or I'm one of those. So we had 2 in June, 1 in August, and then they start hitting again in October, November, December. So
You get hit for $500,000 every month
Oh,
on kids' birthdays. Now they're getting older. Some people are
bro,
expensive.
you're not lying. We went to Disney World one year. We took all of them. We took 2 extras. So we took my oldest son's
You'll go there in a school
plus
bus?
1, and my other son's plus 1. What's that?
You'll go there in a school bus?
Yeah, we get a whole bus to ourselves going from property to property.
Yeah.
No, I think
You have a passenger van, like as a family?
Nah, we used to. Nah, so 4 of them don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
One's in college, one's in Germany. One works for me now. He's got his own house. and the other one is he's off doing his own thing in Indiana. He's in our state though. Yeah, they're all and those four.
Those big families have 15 passenger vans as their
We did
full of car seats for their
when we were
wives.
younger. We had the Ford Econoline 12 passenger, the old school,
Yeah.
and then we had the Nissan MV 2500 at one point. But my wife went through this phase. Yeah, she was just like, I'm done. I'm not in the. She's out of the minivan. So then went to the SUVs, and we started rotating through. And then I found this one car I really like, and then she was like, "Oh, now I gotta have that car." So that's kind of now we're rocking like his and hers. We're in that. We're doing that.
What do y'all have?
Model X's, and they have the 6-seater, so you can fit. So we can all fit in either one.
Tesla, you a Tesla guy.
No, I mean I literally got rid of a lifted Dodge Ram diesel, 3/4 ton lifted. Like when I lifted it 5 inches, I didn't know that meant 12 because they also make the rims bigger. They also I was like getting a ladder. But I love that truck. But man, my son talked me into checking into Rivian electric cars, those trucks.
Oh,
and somehow I ended up on a Tesla one day, and I was like, "What?" It's like a spaceship.
Yeah. So how do you tie the servant, like the servancy of your thing, into actually closing deals?
Well, there's something so again, I told you earlier I geek out on this stuff, study. So there's another study out there. It's what changes buying habits. So I think people really get confused on this whole like, trust, know phrase that goes around. It gets abused so much. People buy from who they know, like, and trust. This is not true. They buy solutions that they know, like, and trust. The best example I can give you is gasoline. So we'll go all buy gasoline right now if we think that it'll get us to the next destination. I do not need to know, like, or trust the owner, the gas station attendant. I won't know anything about that person. But if they come out and convince me to go from regular unleaded to Supreme, or if they convince me to come inside and maybe buy a soda, now I got to know, like, or trust the person for them to have influence over me to be able to give me advice. So with that being said, the know, like, and trust thing is really just about product solution and your trust with that. So what really is this magic thing that gets people to change their buying habits? If that's the desire for purchase is commodity style, fill my need, what's the thing that's going to change a buying habit? And what I mean by that is more like, hey, I was not going to spend money today. I was not going to buy something today too. Now I'm going to go take a different habit and buy something. There's 3 things. One is values. Now we've seen this. This America has put this on full display, meaning people will stop making a purchase because of a value. They don't align with a company. We saw it with Target. We saw it with Bud Light. We see it across the board with companies all the time. You did something that affects my values. And it goes the other way too. Chick-fil-A had a day where everybody went to Chick-fil-A all of a sudden. I guarantee you people didn't wake up hungry for Chick-fil-A. It is pretty amazing. Chick-fil-A is pretty good.
That's Jesus chicken.
But they didn't do it all at once. It wasn't all at once. There was a value that was being supported. It wasn't a business. It was a value. I think we all understand that. The second one is an experience. An example I'll give you there is, let's say you're walking down the beach with your significant other. You're on a date. Someone's painting a photo. You had no intention to spend any money. And all of a sudden you can have your photo taken with a sunset background on the beach in Mazatlan. Did I say that right? Mazatlan? Mexico?
I don't know.
Some destination place.
I've never been to Mexico. I don't know.
Oh, Cancun. We'll say Cancun, right?
Cancun, yeah.
And you have this one chance to get this experience. That's the other reason. And the last one is a deal. So if someone will stand in line in 10-degree weather on the day after Thanksgiving for a deal. And so we see those 3 things change buying habits: values, experience, and deals. So what we teach plumbers to do is say, hey, look, if you're going to drive around town with $10,000 of product and solutions and service, and the customer wants to do the bare minimum, it's like they're shopping at the convenience store. And so things are going to be a little bit more expensive per item. They're not going to buy 12 packs. They're going to buy singular items. And that's okay, but they're going to have a higher margin. And we show them how to take that deal-making kind of process and that retail store model pricing, and now take that to the idea of convenience store versus grocery store, and grocery store versus Costco. And we show them how to basically formulate 3 options: repair, replace, upgrade, solve the problem for today, solve the problem for tomorrow, solve the problem for forever. And if the customer is willing to buy more in quantity, we can reduce down in margin, creating deals, creating opportunities for customers to save real money without discounting. And that's been the magic behind what we teach. I can't say any more. I'd have to kill you. I'm kidding.
I like that. So, what's the first thing, like that? What's the first thing that you teach, like that you really want them to understand? That you think that really clicks and like the most
relationship. Just go in someone's home, treat them right, be their friend, be their advocate. You don't need to be slick, smooth. Just build a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, think about this for a second. If you call a stranger up and you ask them for advice, how much more critical of that advice are you going to be than if you call a friend?
Yeah.
Like if you're at a dealership and they're like, yeah, buy the warranty, you're like, nah, or convince me.
Yeah.
But if your buddy's like, buy the warranty, you're like, really? Should I do it?
Yeah.
It's a whole different mindset.
Yeah, the pack mentality.
Build a friend, make a friend.
I like that. Yeah, I saw something funny yesterday about it was said the finance manager's face when you don't want to buy the $14,000 wheel and tire package. He's just like staring at you. Like you're not gonna chip your rim on a thing and get a hole in your tire. You need to come in here, you know.
Have you heard some of these, like, I mean, I don't want to call anyone out specifically, but some of these online sales trainers, not trades related, but just in general.
Yeah.
And you're just like, bro, have you ever actually tried that, like with a customer? And like, oh, I've done it. And I'm like, and look, I admit some of that stuff works at the point of sale, but then you got buyer's remorse and you got to sleep at night. And you got to feel good about what you do. Yeah. Some of the stuff people say is wild.
Yeah. That is, some people just.
What's the craziest thing? So other than just do it with the kids, is something else you can think of that's just wild?
I mean that one sticks out pretty big. But I mean, they want to hit you. You know, they want to hit you with the obviously. You know, they want to hit you with the end of the month deals. And this is what I tell them. I'm like, look, I'm a salesman. I'm a salesperson too. You don't hit me with the. Hang on, let me go get my manager, see if we get a better deal thing, and then like just set the phone on a minute, and then all of a sudden my manager says that we can get, you know, we can do 50% off now. So what if I would have bought a minute ago?
Right. But you know? I don't think they're thinking this stuff because they're not building relationships. They're just saying the next best thing to get the sale.
Exactly. They'll call you up and be like, you know, Rowdy, Grant personally told me that I needed to call you today. I'm like, bruh, don't. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, bro. Don't do that to me.
Well, I don't think salespeople realize what they're doing there. You know, you got Grant. I'm assuming we're talking about Cardone.
Yeah.
Grant's out here telling the world how big he is, and he's doing all these things, and then he had time. You don't have that many. You don't have enough leads. Like I'm one of few. Like there's what is there only 8 of us inquiring about this?
Exactly.
How does he know my name?
Yeah, don't bullshit me.
Right. And if you're not, now I really don't want to buy it.
If you got me a great deal,
you've been lying to me online about your marketing.
It's fine. If you got a great deal for me, you got a great deal for me. Don't lie to me. I heard of a deal recently of a leaf, like a leaf guard company. I'm not sure. There's a bunch of them. I'm not sure exactly. I don't want to indict any of them. I can't remember which one it was, but they were trying to sell some old people some gutter guards, and they wanted to charge them like $10,000 or something like that. And they were like, "This is crazy." And they did the whole like, "Let me call my manager and see what deal we can work out." And they came back like 30 minutes later that they would do it for $6,000. So you can do it for $6,000 and still make money. But if I would have bought from you at $10,000, you would have took my $10,000.
See, that
is slimy, and I hate that.
Well, it's not only it's 100% slimy, but I was talking to an HVAC owner one time, and I was breaking this concept down to him. I was like, just imagine, let's just say in this case, $10,000, $6,000. Let's just say you can make money at $10,000 and you can make money at $6,000. What is the lost future opportunity on that? Meaning, you go quote 10 people, $10,000. At $10,000, how many convert out of 10? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? At $6,000, I don't know the number here, but I can argue that it's probably going to have at a minimum a slightly higher conversion than $10,000. I think we could all $6,000 is easier to sell than 10, right? Yeah. On the same item. And so, and even if the other person doesn't know about the other price, it's still easier to sell, right? Yeah. Just the idea of spending 6 versus 10. So I asked him, I was like, 5 years from now, I sell, let's say, 2 out of every 10, and I sell 4 and you sell 2 because you're at $10,000. You made a lot more money, and you could easily argue it to me that, hey, it only costs $100 to get the lead, so I just got to buy another 20 leads or whatever to catch up to you, and I'm making more money per sale. And I say, okay, cool. But then the lost opportunity to me is, In 5 years from now, I have twice as many people telling the world about me than you. And at one point, does my word of mouth referral catch up to your margin game? Because margins matter.
You're dropping dimes. I've never thought about that. That is.
Well, I mean, we're in the business of solving solutions. So if I've got an army of 10,000 previous customers, and you got an army of 5,000 previous customers, it stands to reason that I'm going to have 10,000, 20,000 eyes and ears, right? Because you're looking out for people that have HVAC issues that can then tell them about in that example, they can tell them about my solution. And on top of that, I would argue the word's probably gotten out that I'm 6 and you're 10. I mean, there's 15,000 people that have made this purchase. At what point does my market start to cross over? So, people are out for the quick buck. They trip over dimes and they trip over dollars to pick up dimes. I see it all the time. I see it happen in the home. It's like, well, I don't want to do work for less than. It's like they would rather sell the fill valve for $400 than do all 4 fill valves for $800. Yeah, they're only getting $200 a fill valve, but you're only there for you're still only there for an hour and a half, and I could do, if we had a whiteboard, I could break the math down on this. Because when the technician leaves the home, they have to drive for 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get, and then they have to start another relationship for 30 minutes. So now they're in the home, they're driving and diagnosing for twice as much time as me. I'm just in one home working the whole time. So I don't need as much per hour to make more than you per day. Yeah. And I don't think people get that sometimes.
I'm blown. That was good.
I've been to
a lot of sales training, and I never thought about that.
Well, I mean, you got 2 choices here. Either get really good at some skills that you probably don't even have, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of salespeople out there. You're never going to be smooth talkers. You're never going to give keynote speeches. And I don't mean anything by that. It's just to each his own. I'm never going to throw an 80-yard football. I'm never going to run a 4.40. I'm never going to lift 500 pounds. I mean, maybe that's possible. I'm never going to lift 500 pounds. Like, everyone's different. And if you put me on the field with Peyton Manning, it gets real fast, real obvious how unskilled I am. But when you look at it like that, that's a really hard game to play. Salespeople have to get good at convincing, get good. Or you can just get good at creating value. Yeah. You know who does this really well?
Who?
Topgolf.
Yeah.
It's
an amazing place.
Look at their business concept.
You know who owns Topgolf?
The people that make the
Callaway.
Yeah, but they own the thing that makes the actual, the Topgolf logo, that little circular thing with the flag in it. It's actually not Topgolf's logo. It's a Top Tracer or something. Top Tracer, yeah, that's the software. Yeah. I just learned all this the other day. I was like, what?
But Callaway, who is,
that's why they got all the clubs in there.
Which is probably, I don't know. I don't want to, one of the top 3 biggest golf names there are. They're who owns it.
Dude, it's genius. They just got a bunch of people thinking they can golf, and so now they're buying golf clubs.
Exactly.
Now they're buying golf.
I saw that, and as soon as I heard that, I was like, that is genius.
Well, watch what's even more genius about Topgolf. So when you think about Topgolf, so really quick, Red Robin. Red Robin is a Chili's, Applebee's, Cracker Barrel, Texas Roadhouse style, quality restaurant. They do burgers, gourmet burgers. They got 15 burgers or so on their menu. Yeah. And really what they have is 15 plain burgers for $15. They don't sell it like that. What they do is, for you, they throw an egg, an avocado, piece of cheese, and a piece of bacon on there. They call it the California burger. They spend $3 extra in ingredients. They put it on top of that $15 burger. And instead of saying, hey, Rowdy, buy the $15 plain burger, they say, hey, buy the $18 California burger. Yeah. They're not making money on the egg, bacon, and cheese. They're making money on that plain burger. They're utilizing the bacon, egg, and cheese. This is kind of what we teach the plumbers to do with supplies, lines, and emergency stops. So Topgolf has a plain burger, and they have an ingredient. They have the driving range, and they have the restaurant. One of those is the plain burger. And you can look at the pricing structure.
Their food is so good.
It actually is really good. And here's what's crazy. Good. It's cheap.
It is cheap.
But the driving range ain't.
Yeah.
What's it cost to go to a driving range normally? $8 and you're tired?
Yeah.
You get $8. At this age, where I'm at, I buy $8 bucket of balls. And if there's some teenagers around me, they're getting the last, 20. Guys, you want to hit these? I still got to have some energy left for the course.
Yeah.
That's on a day I'm not golfing. If I am golfing, I'm giving them the last 40. But it's $6, $8 to go to a driving range. You go to Top Golf, half price Thursdays is $35 an hour.
Yeah.
And you're there for 2 hours. So think about this.
It's like
Top Golf.
Peak times can be $100 an hour.
Dude, Top Golf figured out how to get us to spend $35 to $50 an hour to rent a bay at a driving range. They gamified it. They've added some value, some atmosphere, some experience.
Yeah.
But that's all they did. And to keep us there longer, they have fair price, quality food and drink. They're not trying to make money, as much margin on their food and drink, because they know if they raise their price on the food and drink, then people would run out of money faster, or they wouldn't want to spend as much money and they wouldn't stay. But because they're getting a deal on the food and drink. Now, really wrap your mind around what they're doing. What are they really doing? When you think about it, what are they really doing?
I don't know. Hit me.
They're getting us to rent our table.
Yeah.
We're renting our table. It's like going to Cracker Barrel and renting your table, or going to Chili's and renting your table.
Yeah, that's true.
You're renting your table. They give you some golf. Callaway gives you their value add to make your table cooler. The Rainforest Cafe, they have their way of doing it, atmosphere, but they haven't figured out how to rent you your table.
It's like a cover charge, pretty much. It's like the cover charge to go eat dinner.
A big cover charge per hour too. It's cover charge that don't stop, can't stop, won't stop, just keeps charging. Yeah. I mean, I was asking a Topgolf employee what they make. What do you think an average server makes at a regular restaurant, like an Applebee's or Chili's, on a good shift?
On an average shift?
Average shift.
75 to $150.
Yeah, and there's some people at the lower end of that spectrum making $30, $40 because they get cut early on a Tuesday night. Some
I used to
people
do it.
Saturday, the I'm closing section and remember the smoking section?
Yeah.
They're making $150, maybe $200.
Yeah.
You know what these guys are Top Golfer making?
Oh, they're making
on a Tuesday.
They're making $200-$300 a shift.
Because the golf is raising the ticket. By the time you go to pay for your meal, it's $150, $200 every time because it's like a fine dining restaurant ticket with no fine dining. You're getting basic food. I mean, it's genius.
Yeah. That's smart.
It's the most expensive per food place you'll ever spend without getting the high end.
Yeah.
And there's a 4-hour wait on Saturday.
Yeah. But the macaroni and cheese bites.
Dude, and the donuts. My wife likes my wife and kids like the syringe.
Oh
donuts,
yeah.
And the cookie skillet.
Oh yeah.
I'm a sucker for those not your average Joes.
Yeah, they're good too.
Or nachos.
I mean, all their food's good. The wings are good.
They really, I mean,
they got the big steroid wings. Them things are humongous. Big Buffalo Wild Wings wings.
They're bigger than Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, where do you think the crossover of being a technician between like confidence and product knowledge goes?
I mean, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell owners all the time, like, you got to get these guys trained. You want them to go in there and tell someone all about water filtration. You think the technician wants to get good at exposing themselves? Because they got to go install that thing.
Yeah.
They're going to get asked questions they may not know the answer to. Then they got to hook it up. They got to install it.
Yeah.
So I always like these owners to take this stuff and bring it into the shop and train the guys and have them install it inside the shop. Get all the information they need. Get all the confidence they need and product knowledge they need. The confidence they need. And do that inside the shop. And then when they go out into the field, they're ready. They're not learning on the job site. No one truly, I mean, it happens to all of us because a customer, this is where it happens a lot. Customer has something unique they want installed and they say, hey, can you install this for me? And so we have no choice. Then I've seen some of the best plumbers on YouTube looking up, how do I install this thing? I've never done this before. I haven't done this before. This will happen sometimes with unique items and this gimmick items even. And then this will also happen when the industry starts to do a shift, like to smart technology or to tankless or to water softener or something like that. And you'll see these gaps. And you got to get these guys trained up, man. If they don't know the product, they're not going to bring it up in the home. They're just not.
Making that investment in their training is definitely big.
And how to use the equipment too. So we're not just talking about sometimes the product, sometimes maybe the drain machines or the.
Because especially in plumbing, if you send somebody to install, a water filtration system under a sink, and they don't know how to put that thing in right, and they don't make the right connection, or they cross thread the canister, like that's disastrous for them.
Well, it's disastrous for their state of mind, for their confidence going forward. It's disastrous, obviously, for the customer. and it's disastrous for the company.
Yeah, they got to pay for it.
It's great for you.
Yeah. Yeah. You know the 737 Max plane, the ones that kept crashing. Do you know why? Why all that
they weren't all
happened?
crashing. They were just coming real close to crashing.
Yeah, yeah. But they kept crash. There was a bunch. They had a bunch
All
of
kinds of
crashing.
compared. Yeah,
And I watched the documentary on those, and
it was improper training.
yeah, because
That's right.
because all the airlines and Boeing did not want to send all these pilots for retraining because they created a new plane. So they just said, "Oh, it's just a 737. We just changed it up a little bit." So they didn't have to go reach. They didn't want to spend the money.
There was some feature that was auto kicking in that was
It was
dropping these planes.
keeping the nose down.
Yeah, and it was like
Because they
dropping
had to
these
move.
planes.
They moved the engines forward, and it messed up the aerodynamics.
This is where the podcast gets real interesting. Where we start trying to break down the engineering of planes. We're like, well, it's the stabilizer, wingtip, flap, modulizer.
Yeah. So
There's a flex capacitor.
That was a crazy thing. That is why training is so important to get the guys trained, because they don't. If you don't train them up right, then when they go out to a job, they're going to, they're going to mess up, and they're going
to take twice as long, and they're going to mess up. It's crazy. It's like they'll get so honed in on the main thing that they'll get that right, and then they'll mess up something small because they're just so concerned, so stressed, so living it kind of locked up, paralyzed mentally.
Yeah. So what's the most powerful transformation you've seen in a team after you've intervened into their lives and the way that they do business?
Well, I mean, that's a hard one only because there's so many things to measure.
Yeah.
It's funny is when you do consulting, you think you're going to, I mean, I guess it's true for you too. When you do restoration or you do plumbing, you think it's going to be the plumbing or the restoration, but it really is never about that, right?
Yeah.
The customers are going through it, and we talked about that earlier. So in my case, we see a lot of like family, because business is stressful. Yeah. So we see family problems, we see family imbalance, we see marital problems, financial problems. We see people who are about to lose it all. In some cases, there's a lot of owners out there too, entrepreneurs in the world. They're lonely just because they're alone in their own problems. They're alone in their own stresses. No one's there Thursday night when they're worried about payroll Friday morning, and you internalize a lot of these things. So you asked me what's the biggest transformation. I mean, we could talk financially. I think a lot of people like to know what that is.
Yeah.
But for me, and I'll probably give you the financial answer, but I want to mention that for me, it's the life change. It's the transformation I see because the marriage gets better, or the stress is removed, or I mean, I could think of times, man, where I've worked with owners and then I get around their families and I introduce their kid to something that's really cool or uplifting for them. It changes their life, that kind of a thing. Or maybe a book I recommend to a teenager that's a kid of an owner. I mean, there's so many of those stories too that are powerful. But financially speaking, I remember one company specifically that had been in business for 9 years. Trucks were not on their last leg, but on their last leg. You wouldn't have known them if you passed them twice in the same city. They didn't have a good brand. And they were up to about $800,000, $900,000 a year in revenue when I met them. This is after 9 years of being in business. In the last 2 years, they're pacing 5.6 right now, or 5.2 million. In the last 2 years, they've grown that. They've completely shifted their life.
Consistent 900.
Yeah, they were doing around. Yeah, I think they built maybe $600,000, $700,000, $900,000 a year is what they were doing.
Yeah.
They've been in business for 9 years. We'll say for the last 5 of those 9 years, they've been doing around 800, 900. Never broke $1 million.
Yeah.
And the first year with us, they think they did 2. They officially did 3 something last year. I think we're talking now a 2-year run. But right now, I mean, I just got a message just a couple of days ago. They did $140,000 of revenue in 1 week. So pacing that out, you're in $7 million or 6 something million. So, good for them. But that's I saw that. Not only that, just like it's always, people always say, like, did you raise their price? No, we changed their culture. We changed their culture. They started attracting different customers, started attracting different employees. When no one wanted to ever work for them, they couldn't find talent. Now they're telling people we don't have a spot right now. You get on the waiting list, kind of thing. Customers and employees. It's wild. And everybody's like, "What's the secret? What's the secret?" It's slow. Our market's slow. No, you just don't have enough market share. Just enough people don't know about you. They don't like you enough. And that's really what it comes down to, man. So
Yeah.
I would say them. Home Heroes Plumbing is who I'm talking about in Anderson, Indiana. But there's so many other stories. Epic Plumbing's another great story. Next Plumbing, they did $4 million. They started their business 2 years ago. Joined our program day one. The owner he would follow us on Facebook and social media and stuff, and wanted to get in the program. Started his own business. Got in the program. They did $4 million their second year.
That's amazing.
And we're talking service plumbing. It's just wild.
No big ticket, low margin, new construction stuff. It's just straight service calls.
Yeah, they're doing residential service. They do a little commercial service, but they're not doing like new commercial builds or not like that. They're just doing like, you own a Chick-fil-A and your 50-gallon low boy needs a new element, or your faucet won't shut off on the cold side. They're going out to those calls.
Yeah. So how do you, when you're training these sales teams, and especially the smaller guys, when they're just plumbers and they used to make an hourly, just straight hourly pay, and you teach these guys that they can go into a house and serve a customer, not rip them off, serve them and give them value, and start making. I know plumbing technicians and sales guys making, low to middle to high six figures.
Yeah.
Like, how does that make you feel knowing that you can take, a blue collar kid and really change their lives? That, hey, you can become a servant of people, change other people's lives, and make it fantastic living for your family as well.
I think it's cool. I think, I mean, all jokes aside, I really genuinely believe that in that moment of transformation with my relationship with Christ, I was imparted some knowledge or a different way of thinking or looking at business. And it's like, people that become passionate about something, you almost become cultish about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like that with service.
Yeah.
I go to Disney World. I'm studying their trash cans. The other day, I was at Disney World maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and I was in the Star Wars area, and they got PVC. I realized for the first time, and I've been there a lot, and I realized for the first time, it's like, oh, that's PVC pipe.
Yeah.
They torched it, made it look old, made it look spaceshipy. And it's just that attention to detail and that drive for perfection. That's how I feel about service. So if I can show you how to go into a home and somehow make a bunch of money while you somehow save some money, while you somehow fix their current problem and then somehow keep them from a future problem, the proof is in the pudding. Those reviews go from 5 stars, quick, fast, and efficient, to a novel.
Yeah.
And when a young tech,
Because you get those quick, fast, and efficient. That's just because
those
you
don't
asked
do
them.
it for me. Yeah, that's just it was a commodity.
Yeah.
You took care of it. They're 5-star in the plumbing, not you.
Yeah.
But when you get a book like Rowdy came in, he pet our dogs. He really listened to our concerns. Like, he really took care of us. We wouldn't use anyone other than them. Like, that's when you did it, right? And so for me, it's like getting really excited about that. So if I can show a plumber, a young guy, how to go in and do that and make 6 figures in a world where plumbing is turned into a commodity. I mean, dude, if people go to get a plumbing job right now at a construction site, it's $25-$30 an hour, $40 maybe. I mean, if you got experience, maybe $25-$30 an hour. Some of you are like, yeah, whatever. It's $15, $16, $17 an hour. It depends on where we're at here. There's no money in. I mean, there's it's a good trade, but service, that's where the money's at. Like, when you can fix people's problems, and it just happens to be plumbing. So yeah, I think it feels great, man. These guys get to go in, do it the right way, treat people right, make a great living for their family, be valued themselves. It's wonderful. Yeah. That's why, interesting you say that, because when I teach plumbing companies how to onboard and train, I'm not a big fan of sending the guy out in the truck and just have him sit there and get yelled at all day long. He sees a toilet today, he sees a water heater tomorrow, he sees a sewer line the next day, sees 25 different things over the next 25 days. He's not learning. Like, he's not really learning. Bring a guy into your shop and have him rebuild a toilet 30 times in one day, back-to-back days. He's not a plumber, but he knows toilets, and he knows something now. You made him better, and that's a small piece of like what it feels like to make someone better when they're in sales. Because sales, learning how to fix a toilet increases your value, but learning how to communicate really increases your value.
Yeah, one thing I've kind of become passionate about is wanting to elevate, and I haven't really gotten into what I really want to do, but but elevate. But I'm trying to start with the restoration industry. Start with my people, particular is elevating these trades guys. Like these guys, they have a skill, and the reason I say that is water damage restoration technicians or crew chiefs, or we call them, the guys that actually run the jobs. It takes years to learn how to use all the tools and learn how all the construction of a house and how a house should be dried and how to make sure that the house gets dried correctly and learning customer service, learn how to do all the production, all the protection of the house. It takes a long time. Same as a plumber, same as an electrician, a welder. So I'm trying to like make these like our industry say and other trades realize like, man, these guys, they're going into people's houses every day. They're no different than a plumber. They're no different than an electrician or whoever, HVAC technician, and they should be paid as such. Like we pay more to our guys than anybody in the city, and for that reason, I think we're starting to attract more and better talent for that.
People, I think, get lost. So first of all, the people, you gotta stop letting the world define your value. It doesn't. There's no list that says it has to stay the same way forever. But Jim Rohn talks about the idea of getting better and has this video, and he talks about increasing your value. And he says there's a couple ways to do that. You can climb the ladder by demanding more money, asking for a raise, constantly going to your boss and say, I'm going to quit, or quitting and going to another job and getting more money, and then quitting that job and getting more money. Or waiting for someone else to get a raise and go complain. That's one way.
The dollar tour, that's the tradesman way.
Yeah, but no one's ever got rich doing that.
Yeah.
No one has ever gotten rich doing that.
Yeah.
He says the other way is to increase your value. At the time, this video is from like the 90s. If you ever go look it up, Jim Rohn, Increasing Your Value. It's a great video. But he talks about this, and he's at the time, Bob Iger or Bob, something like that, is the CEO of Disney, and he makes $52 million a year.
Yeah.
So he says, think about this. We all have the same amount of time. We all have the same. So what is he doing that someone else on earth would be like, here you go. No problem. $52 million. Working at McDonald's, no one's going to cut you a check for $52 million for the year and go, here you go. It's going to be like 5. I should probably only be paying you $485. Or it's going to be 12. I should only be paying you 11. Or it's going to be something like that. It's going to be, I pay you already $200. But over there, it's like, here you go. Do you want more? And at some point, the guy goes, no, this is more than anyone else will give me, so I'll take it. Yeah. Supply and demand. But what's the difference? Is Disney? Are you going to go convince Disney that guy wasn't worth $52 million? No, they were making $1 billion. Yeah. They didn't even notice the $52 million. They didn't make us another $1 billion. We'll gladly give you another $52 million. Mm-hmm. And so it's about increasing your value, and the way you do that is by solving bigger problems. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. So if I'm a guy who's like, I'm not worth what a plumber is, why? Well, if you can genuinely get to a place to where it's because they solve bigger problems, then get more product knowledge, get more education in your craft so you can solve bigger problems. And that's where I go back to learning people, because you can solve bigger problems when you learn people. You're not just isolated to the faucet. You're not just isolated. How many times do you guys go into a home that needs to be restored and you end up turning it into a remodel?
Every time.
Okay, so
not
think
every
about
time, but a lot. Yeah.
That you're not, if you're just a restoration guy, you can't do that. But if you're a service restoration guy, you can go in there and understand what Mrs. Smith is really aggravated about. And look, this is a great kind of example to cap this. Whenever we do a drain call for a kitchen sink drain, we have to pull the trap apart, run the drain machine, whatever your price is. It's $256.38. And Mr. and Mrs. Whitaker hates the price. They hate you. By the time you leave, all they have is their old plumbing back to where it was. You're a hostage negotiator. Like you didn't fix anything. You just got them their sink back. That's it. You just got them. You negotiated a hostage trade. So I go, okay, well your faucet or your garbage disposal or your multi-turns, they're either inferior, they're old, or they suck, or some, right? Maybe something. 9 times out of 10, something. And I can say, look, we can go about this a couple different ways. You have an 8-year-old garbage disposal. It's not ready to replace, but it will be in a couple years. $256, I can pull this trap apart. I can run the drain machine. I can get you back to normal. Or for $588, I can replace your garbage disposal prematurely. I'm already going to have to pull your trap apart. I'll run the drain machine while I got it open. And now you can get something for your money. So when I leave today, it's either $256 and you forgot I was here, or $588 and you at least got a new garbage disposal. People appreciate that. Some people go 256, some people go 588, but at least they got something for their money.
Yeah.
Remodeling, I can either go back in and restore your home and get it back to the way it was, and it'll never quite be right. It'll always be slightly off. Or you can invest a little bit more money because I've gifted, I've got product knowledge, I've trained myself. I can actually knock that wall down and I can make your bathroom bigger. Because earlier when I was asking you questions and I was understanding you, you mentioned this previous frustration with the old layout. And while we got this thing stripped down to the studs, and I'm actually stealing this straight from your guys' video, because if I'm not mistaken, you're in a firehouse. It's a video. Go check out their video online. They're in a home that caught on fire. It's all stripped down. It doesn't look like it's on fire anymore. It looks like it's just being built for the first time.
Yeah.
But they're in. It's all studded out, all wood, and they're like, "Hey, when we get done with this, it's gonna be a dream home." I think she says, or something like that. It's gonna be a dream. It wasn't a dream home. That's exciting.
Yeah.
What sucked is now exciting. Now you got value.
Yeah.
Now you got value to that customer. Now you're not the person that came in and told me that you could put the sheet back right where it was. You're the person that came in and created a new vision in my life and turned my negative into a positive. Man, that's what's exciting. That's what's cool. That's what we get to do.
Yeah.
That's what we get to do.
I like that. You didn't just go in and they don't remember the guy that just unclogged their sink, but they do remember the guy that I got to take all this stuff apart anyway.
Now, if he unclogged their sink and then turned around and clogged up their toilet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They'll remember him.
I'm sure that's happened before.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
so where do you see your business in 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you see your brand and where you want to take it to?
You know, I don't know. Everything I've ever tried in life has failed.
Let me ask you, how long have you been doing what you're doing right now?
So the plumbing sales coach, coaching online the way that we do it right now, 8 years officially. Yeah. So 2018, the end of 2018.
Did you take you back there? Did you see where you are right now?
Is that math right? 7
something,
years.
Yeah,
I think it's 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you started this, where you're at now, do you think you'd be where you are right now?
No, nope. Told my wife all the time, why am I doing this? No one's gonna watch this show. I never thought, my stepdad did a good job of telling me that no one would ever listen to me. So I really believed him. And so I was really shocked that people would listen. So no, I didn't envision getting here. And then, even like just meeting you, I spoke at an event at Trump Tower. And then I don't know if you were at that one, but it was the same organization. And then down at the W or the Q?
The W in Scottsdale.
The W in Scottsdale. Yeah, dude. When I owed those kids 800 marbles, I never thought I'd be speaking on stages like that or that anyone would listen. So I don't know, but now it's become a burden. It's interesting. It's interesting because you always want to have money, you always want to have power, you always want to have control. I think people want some form of that. At a minimum, just have control of their own life, but they want some form of that. People want more. And then when you get there, you realize like, oh man, this is a responsibility.
Yeah.
It's, there's a lot of people in our program. And so now if we kind of just quit, if we shut the doors tomorrow, it's like you're letting them down because you're teaching them a certain way. No one else. And then in our case, we're doing something, not that anyone else, but the way we're going about it is different. We have clients all the time say we can never leave because you're the only one that is thinking this way and doing this. So we want to continue more of that. And it's just, so that's been kind of cool. Where do we want to go? We're right in the middle of developing software. We partnered with Brita Pro. Brita Pro is a national brand for softeners, Brita. We partnered with them, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, officially locked in a deal about 6 months ago, and have been pushing theirs. Well, in October, I think, a new brand release is called Fresh Water, powered by Brita Pro. So we're trying to make products better in the industry. It's
Fresh water. That's
cool. I'm pretty excited about it. It's cool. It's not one of those deals where like we've 7 years we've been in the game. We haven't really partnered with anybody. No one. And I've been real protective of I don't want to be tied to people who don't have the same morals and stuff. So we did that one with Brita. I do like them. We're doing that one. They've been a good partner. And then the other thing is we're developing our own software right now. We're working on an app that basically the company would have their own app. So we're not necessarily developing an app for us. We're developing the app for the company. So Mr. Drippy Plumbing down in Birmingham, Alabama is one of our clients. I think Patrick, you know him. He started Mr. Dry Restoration. He's in Alex's group now. Yeah. And I think he's been reaching out to you about maybe come and see your place.
I think he's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, so we did a mock-up with his company, and as a demo app. So as an example, so the app would be, in his case, Mr. Drippy Plumbing's app. And what it does is it remarkets to the customer. So it communicates, and more than just, hey, here's half price water heater flush. It's more intelligent, where it can help them get specifically the deals they need for their plumbing situation. So that's been kind of cool to be working on. And that launch it's done. I think I don't want to say it's done. It's kind of done.
Yeah.
That developers would probably be like, shut up.
Yeah.
But it's done. I think we're going to release, we're going to demo it at our next mastermind, September 4th and 5th. Okay. We have a three times a year we do live events for our clients that they can only come to if they're in our program. So they'll all be there September 4th and 5th in Indianapolis. So they always get first rights to everything, so we'll drop it on them. That's
exciting.
I didn't really answer your question, but I want to make more impact.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I want to make more impact for the customer, and that's really what we want to do.
Yeah, like that. It's inspiring because I've I still have a lot of work to do with myself and my business before I put myself out there. But I love teaching people, and I love consulting, and I love listening to people, hearing what their problems are and how I can solve them. And so getting into coaching eventually is something I really want to do. So that's why I love talking to other people.
I love that you're doing this right here. This, first of all, is a good first step. But number two, you're already giving. You have no product, nothing for anyone to buy, but you're giving out value. I love that. That's more people need to do that. I'm in here. I see your lights. I see your studio. I know what this stuff costs. I've done it. Yeah. I got a staff. You got a staff. You got a dedicated staff just to this.
Yeah. It took me
it gets expensive.
It took me 2 years to execute this. I wanted to do this for 2 years before we did it, and we took baby steps, and we drug our feet, and it took.
So I'm gonna say something to you. This is probably why. This is what I was saying. This is why I had to make so many mistakes. But Jim Rohn says you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yeah.
You asked me a question about something about videos earlier, and I was thinking back to my first video. My first video, I'm in Colorado. I'm in an office. I just get done being interviewed, and on the second episode, on the second time that I'm on there, and it's like, I'm just getting all these messages on the internet like, hey, what's your product? Do you have a product? I don't have a product because I'm in a plumbing company. Yeah. I'm not trying to sell stuff online. Mm-hmm. And it really just got to a point to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go online. I'm gonna have to do a live. So I waited 3 or 4 days, and I was like, today's the day. I'm going live. So I go get my buddy Chris. My name's Chris. His name's Chris. I go get Chris, and I'm like, dude, get my phone. Let's go. Let's do this thing. I had an iPhone, so I'm not trying to brag. But I had an iPhone. We didn't have nothing, no mic, no nothing. Yeah. And that video is still on the internet today, but it's basically, originally it was going to be 15 minutes. Maybe I'll go 20. I don't know yet. I'm thinking I'll go 15, give the audience what they want, little dizzle, little dazzle, little rizzle. I was going to shake it up, mix it up, some fireworks at the end. The video ends up being only 3 minutes long. Oh, wow. And the first 2 minutes, the whole time I just kept saying, hey, my name's Chris. Hey, Chris, so we're going live. We live? We're live, Chris? So I'm Chris. That's Chris. He's recording me live. We're live. I'm Chris. That's Chris. And it's just this perpetuated cycle of me saying Chris and live about 400 times for 2 minutes straight before I make 0 points and give 0 value and then end the live. Yeah. So that's...
it's like, what's the biggest thing in sports right now?
Politics?
No. Banana ball.
Oh, because they don't have politics in it.
Bro, Jesse, that guy's the most inspiring entrepreneur.
I didn't know where you were going with that, so I was just thinking, they've been talking a lot, but I've stopped watching sports because they're talking about politics.
The biggest thing happening
Savannah Bananas, dude. Yeah. And you know what that guy's you know what his whole thing is? Just user experience. That's it. Just fan experience. Give the fans what they want.
On their website. A T-shirt is $20. A hat's $20. It's $20. A hot dog is this much. They don't try to gouge their customers.
That'd be funny though. The hot dogs are $20 too. Yeah, that's where they get their money back from the hats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but they want to create 1 billion fans. That's his mission statement. I want to create 1 billion fans.
I will say something
at no cost.
This is all. I don't know where I heard this or where but I've always thought this. For whatever reason, when I look at things, I realized that at an early age, that the wealth, the value, the money was not in the sport. It wasn't in the product. It was in filling the arena. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought that, like, man, even if you can't make money off the thing they're there to watch, you can advertise to them. Like, so if you can get a bunch of people to come to one place for whatever, there's value in that. Now, maybe you don't translate that to money. You translate that to fame. Or you could, you get a bunch of people to like you in a room because you tell jokes. You don't charge them anything, but you're famous now. Or maybe you get them to vote for you. So now you're powerful. Yeah. And so, but I knew that there was the real value was in filling the arena, not what you were doing for them to come to the arena. It was more that you got them to come to the arena. That's what Savannah Bananas has learned is that, hey man, all these people are coming. People that would never go to a baseball game because there's no rule. The rules are different. We broke the rules. We changed the outcome. We changed the experience, changed the expectations, and people want to be entertained. People scroll their phones so they can be educated or entertained. You're probably not going to get educated at Savannah Bananas, but you are going to get entertained.
Yeah, that's all they're trying to do.
Dude, they got this dude on stilts.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Eight pitches and stuff. I mean, they're expanding. They're going to make a league. I mean, they're going to make, I don't know if it's going to be 32 teams, but they're going to make they've already got 4 teams now, 4 or 5 teams.
Personally, I don't think that's you can't keep that kind of experience up for 162 games a year. But that's not the goal. The goal isn't to figure out who the best team is. The goal is to put on the best experience.
Exactly. That's all they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's good.
There's a lesson to be learned right there.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna wrap up and hit you with some rapid fire questions. So we're not gonna talk a lot about it. We'll just kind of hit you with the. So what's your go-to phrase when a tech is like stuck in their own head and they just can't move forward with the concept?
With the concept of like what we're teaching, the frameworks. Yeah. My go-to is not necessarily a statement, but it's math. So I just do the math for them. Actually, I kind of do have one. Would you warranty it? So whenever they're like, oh, they didn't need anything else, I'm like, all right, well, can we put a warranty on everything else? I guess that is kind of my little go-to. It probably it might have, if someone is watching this that either worked for me or has worked, they probably felt a little dig in the side on that one. Yeah. But I'll say that a lot. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yeah. Would you warranty that?
Yeah. Oh, so we didn't even offer them a toilet or another. Okay, then are we willing to warranty their old one since you're so confident that it's going to last forever? Why are we taking the decision away from the customer?
I like that. Biggest sales myth in the trades.
People buy it from the people they know, like, and trust. I hate that one the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's people take advice from people they know, like, and trust. And the problem with that statement is this idea that we're supposed to be selling and we're not. We're supposed to be advising. And if we just looked at it correctly, we would recognize it and make that subtle shift. It would change the heart and mindset of the human.
I like that. Most underrated skill for any tradesperson?
Personality types.
Yeah.
Reading people
and learn how to sell to or advise to.
Yeah, I used to C-type personality used to irritate the heck out of me. I would be in a home. I'd forget about being in a home. This goes back beyond even when I worked selling cars or ads over the phone. They're so analytical. And what I found was, well, at first what would happen is they'd be like, so how many gallons per minute is it? I'm like, geez, well, you know everything about tankless? Like, what do you, but they didn't know. They weren't questioning me. That's what I thought. They were questioning me. And that's one way to, that's a trigger for me, question me. And it's an ego issue I have, right? But I'm serving this person, I'm helping this person, and they could say those questions, and I had to just remind myself, like, they're learning. They're not questioning me, they're learning. I need to be calm, patient, and give them the answers. If I don't get frustrated or irritated with them, make them, and basically, like, a lot of salespeople are like, I'll shut this guy down, but really you're making them feel stupid, and you don't realize that because you have the wrong viewpoint of what's happening. And so I just think that, learn people, man, learn personality types. Yeah. It may not do what they're doing because you think of, for whatever reason you think they're doing it.
Yeah. I think I know the answer to this, and I hope I do. But if you had to sum up your entire sales philosophy in one sentence, what would it be?
Coffee's for closers. No, I'm kidding. That's from that movie also. Always be serving.
Always be serving.
I mean, it would always be that. And I wear it. It's all over my body. It's on my wrist. And, people wonder, look, literally drove 7.5 hours, got into town, had some really good sushi, and then came here, met straight here, and then boom, let's do a 2-hour podcast.
Lights, camera, action.
And this is just how I dress.
Yeah.
This is just what I'm about. When I'm at Disney World, I'm wearing these.
Yeah.
I know I give them out to people all the time.
I'm going to give you mine, the Homeway Hustle.
The Homeway Hustle, baby.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna ask this question from my little brother who's a sneakerhead. Because you and Sarah were talking about shoes earlier. What's your favorite shoe?
I got 3.
All right.
Okay, so
And I won't know what any of these are, by the way.
the first 2 are going to be more about if it's everyday comfort, like just walking around long.
Yeah.
I like the Air Max 90s. But if it's style and comfort, it's always going to be the Air Force One. I probably have like 9 pairs of Air Force Ones. I'm wearing some right now. I'll be wearing some more different ones.
Just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, Air Force Ones. And I got multiple colors, multiple versions. I'll be wearing a different pair tomorrow. I brought them with me. My wife always like, how many pairs of shoes are you going to bring? I'm like, 4. She's like, we're only going to be there for 2 days. And I'm like, well, we're not just doing 2 things. Like we have different things. So I'll mix it up. So I'm big on those. And then my last one is classic Jordans. You could pretty much take any classic Jordan, and even if I won't wear it, I'll put it on a shelf somewhere. I love them. And I'm a Kobe fan, but I still.
So let me tell you a funny Air Force One story. I was a very, very overly country Caucasian kid, and I remember when Air Force Ones came out, and everybody was talking about how cool Air Force Ones were and what they were going to be, and so as a very country white kid, I was thinking there used to be some crazy shoe with some crazy design and crazy colors.
Yeah.
And then some of the kids started coming to school with these Air Force Ones and they were just plain white, square, boxy Air Force Ones. And I was like, those shoes aren't cool at all, because I was thinking like something with crazy colors and swooshes and silver and all this other stuff.
Well, you had to have multiple pairs because they got scuffed and messed up your whole night, right? Nelly said that in his song. Actually, what's funny about Air Force Ones, I didn't even know about Air Force Ones until he came out with 3 more albums before I even knew about Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I wore Athletics. And if you don't know what those are, you're better than me. And then I got upgraded to Pro Wings. Athletics was what Kmart, if you guys remember that store. Yeah. Kmart sold those, and they would crack.
Yeah.
Because they're like hard plastic. And then I was like, Mom, I can't, I'm already getting beat up. Like, I can't be giving them more reasons. So then she got me the suede out, like material, the cloth material, the Pro Wings. And that was sold at Payless Shoes. And I just got made fun of. So I finally get a job as a bagger at a grocery store, and I get my first couple checks. I bought the David Robinson the high tops. They had that salmon pink going through the tongue with the laces. Oh my gosh, dude! I remember I came into school and wanted everybody. I was just like basically I'd walk up the staircases and just take like one step up just so people could see the shoe and just kind of hold it like I was on a skateboard. I probably started parkour on accident, just trying to show off my shoes.
That's funny. That's funny. So, all right, very last question. This is my ender.
5'6", long walks on the beach. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. What does the term Homeway Hustle mean to you?
Well, hustle obviously to me starts to think. I think of the word grind, and I think immediately once I think of that word, I think of nobody other than Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, the king of hustle. So that's the first thing I think of, and then knowing that you are the owner of Homeway and the home, I feel like it would be the everyday grind and hustle of serving people. That's how I'd probably see it. Yeah. It's the everyday grind of serving people.
Yeah. That's what
which can be a grind. I mean, look, as much as I'm over here like, serve people. People are awesome. Yeah. Yeah, people aren't always awesome.
No, they're not at all.
And they're not easy to love always. But if you're a cop, you got to roll in intense situations. If you're a firefighter, you got to enter. And sometimes we deal with difficult people in those moments, and it's no different than for us as well. And we got to stay professional.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a unique answer. I haven't heard nobody said that one yet. Of grinding to serve people. I think that's at the end of the day. I feel like that's my purpose in life is to help people in some way or another. Like whether it's financially or help up themselves. I always want to leave people better than I found them. I feel like anybody that's ever worked for me or worked around me, they always leave better than how I found them. Whether they left on good terms or bad terms, when they leave here, they're in a better position financially, spiritually, or just knowledge than when they came. And for me, I think that's a big why of mine.
But there's I don't know, they always slap a different name at the end of these quotes half the time. You never know who actually said that, but I think it was Richard Branson. said, train them so well they can leave, treat them so well they won't.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to live and just
I like that
pour
too.
into people. Look, at the end of the day, you know, sometimes I'll have owners that'll say, look, you know, I did this for this guy, I did that for the guy, and then he quit on me. And it's like, the response isn't the reason for the action. The action is the action. That's all in its own. You don't need a response from someone to do something good for someone. That should be enough. Now, if they respond appropriately, great. It maybe does kind of solidify that it was a good thing to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about moving forward for the right reasons, not for the return. Yeah, it's funny. I thought of two other things Homeway Hustle could mean.
All right.
One could be a 3-card game that came across in Vegas a couple times. That could be the other one.
Yeah, that's funny.
That could be one of them, right?
Yeah. You can make a game.
And then the other one is like a line dance. Let's think of the
line
Homeway
dance.
Hustle, baby. Just like
line. Make
to
a
the
line
left,
dance of it.
to the right.
That's funny.
I feel that for you too, though. I've seen you out and about, man. I can see you. If you had your own dance, bro, I could TikTok famous.
Yeah, do the rowdy leg. That's people used to
Do the rowdy leg.
Oh man, shout out Mike Burkett out the city. He's the one that came up with this in like 2005. But yeah, that was
The
funny.
rowdy leg.
Do the rowdy leg. So, well, Chris, it was a pleasure, brother.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Sorry, I'm shake your hand with the what you're doing.
Yeah,
so,
to reach over.
So you know,
People got how big I am.
Yeah. So man, this is
I feel like
enjoyed it.
I'm almost feel like I'm on the ground right now, like a little
I
kid.
enjoyed it, and guys, just remember, always be serving. Homeway Hustle out. Y'all be good.